Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to this session. This is a very important session. We've seen since yesterday very important contributions, mix of theory and practice. Now we are in this session where we want to listen what is the practice. So we're here to listen to our colleagues, how they turned their aspirations to practice. Before I ask them to contribute, I'd like to introduce them. We have three distinguished gentlemen, unfortunately all gentlemen. The first one is Mr. Rajiv Kumar, Rohila. He's a Senior General Manager Procurement at the Power Grid Corporation. He has 25 years experience in public procurement, a lot of experience, which we are going to hear from. And he holds a master's in business administration from the Delhi University prestigious faculty of business management studies. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Rajiv. And then we have, thank you. On my right, I have Mr. Sukhdeepak, that's correct, yeah? Sukhdeepak, he is the Vice President, Government and PSU Sales, C1 India, who's one of the corporate sponsors of this event. I've seen you, thank you so much. He's been spearheading government sales initiative for C1 over 3 years. He has represented C1 India in various forums. He has over 2 decades experience in sales. Mr. Sukhdeepak, prior to joining C1, he had worked with leading global enterprises, including Ramco and Microsoft. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Sukhdeepak. Last but not last, I have Mr. Rajneesh Rana, who heads Contract and Procurement Department from the Agriculture Pumps and Solar Department of Energy Efficiency Services. He has 13 years looking after different assignments from corporate operations, marketing, and demand forecasting. He holds a Bachelor of Commerce, Master of Business Administration from Delhi, and postgraduate in law in the International Humanitarian from NASA, Hyderabad. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hand together for Mr. Rana. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session. This is the last session, so we should give in our best. In giving our best, I think one thing as ground truthing rules, we have to keep to time, but we have to share to the maximum. We are here to learn, so we'd like to learn from you. So I'll give each one of you, whether you have a presentation or not, some 15 minutes to make a presentation. It may need not to be written. Then after I make the presentation, we're open to the public to ground truth some of your experiences. And then in the end, I'll ask each one of you to say the last word. What would you want people to get out of this forum? This being the last session. So with those few remarks, may I give the floor to Mr. Rajiv. You have a presentation? Yes. Okay. Over to there. Thank you.
Still, we have to maintain the protocols and decorum. Thank you, IMA and World Bank for organizing this summit and giving us the opportunity to be part of it. Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, and the title of this session is Turning Aspirations into Procurement. Definitely with related to the functionals and functions of public procurement. So I'll speak within the framework of public procurement. But now when I was planning to present how I'll go ahead with this presentation, I thought whether my experience of procurement, that to public procurement in Power Grid, will be useful to you. Why you should listen to my experience. So when I asked this question, so I said, let me start what Power Grid is. So let me take this opportunity to take half a minute to talk about Power Grid. I'll run through it. Power Grid was established in 1989 and commercial operations in 1992. It's a central transmission utility. Navratna status from May 2008, listed company in BSE and NSE, and where the government of India's holding is 56.91. So I am bound to be under the public procurement framework with the government of India, CPSUs, being a government of India, CPSUs. Power Grid Corporation, if you'll see my performance of my company, we have built and own almost 1.51 lakhs of circuit kilometers, 238 number substations, and availability of 99.9. This speaks about my performance, my company's performance in last 20-25 years. I have given a snapshot of summary of awards which we have placed from the corporate center. The whole purpose of putting this slide is you can make it out from only my corporate center, that is the center where I am making the bigger procurements, is around 25,000 crores of investment per year during the last 7 years consistently. So this speaks about my experience, my company's experience in procurement, and that too in public procurement. We all know public procurement is a staggering amounts in developing countries like India, where the contribution of spending, public spending is around 25 to 30%. Even a delta saving or efficiency going into the public procurement is a huge amount that can be well taken into the direct relation to the economic development of a country. So money saved, efficiency achieved, quality achieved, all things are paramount features of public spendings. And Power Grid has always recognized the importance of procurement is to core business. My core business is transmission, building and operating and maintaining the transmission systems. We have done fulfill the dream of government of India, having one nation, one grid, and operating it to the efficiency of 99.9, best in the world, comparable to anybody. So yes, you should, and I think it will be advisable that we have a public procurement experience with all funding agencies, World Bank, ADB, KFW, and our own resources. So our experience will be worth listening. So this was my simple submission before entering into the subject. I hope I'll be able to share some of the good experience of public procurement with you. Aspirations for a public procurement function or functionalities or the people involved with it, we always define it theoretically, 5R, 7R. World Bank has very nicely defined 7 core value of public procurement, achieving quality timeline, great effectiveness, cost efficiencies. I'll not go into this, but the aspirations really, these are not on papers. We have proven record on this, how we have optimized the procurement process, which is considered to be the toughest and the most, ritual type of taking job in public procurement. You have to follow so many steps. You cannot miss it. 6 to 7 auditing agencies sitting on it. You are sometimes, afraid of doing something. So it becomes really difficult for the public procurement persons to stick to those conditions. Some sort of rigidity comes into the frameworks. And, it is very easy, public procurement versus private procurement. You are all in the procurement sector know what are the differences. The most important part is the discipline and hygiene of procurement process. What is that? There is a balance between the transparencies and the confidentialities. Confidentialities of each bit otherwise open publicly. So I've tried to frame in these 2 lines only and achieving complete transparencies. This, I call it as a discipline or the hygiene which is required to be maintained by the public procurement. So these are my aspirations. Based on these 2 pillars, we have to achieve all 5R or 7 values, 7 core values of the procurements. Power Grid, let me summarize in single line. From 1989 to till date, we in a way have moved from reactive procurement to tactical procurement to strategical procurement, and maturity matrix level, we are reaching to the level where we can say that we are in the sense of stage of the almost attaining the maturity of the professional procurement level. World Bank has contributed a lot in not only in developing our systems, rather harmonizing our systems when we were doing procurement under our domestic fundings and when we are bound with the guidelines of the World Bank or the ADB. So harmonization and standardization of the function is there. You all know what are that? Initially 1989 to 1994, 95, what is that? We were simply doing some sort, there is a demand, there is a request, do some steps, process, and procurement is being done, or the material or the goods or services, whatever we want to procure is made available to my indenting or my customer, basically. Then from 94, 95 onwards, some policies came, professionals were put into the place with the advice of the funding agencies also. We have the professionals in one particular department. Policies were into the pictures. Some flexibility came into the procurement processes. I call it as a period of tactical procurement, then strategic secure sourcings. From 2000 onwards, and more specifically 2005 onwards, policies in place. There is a flexibility, case to case. We have basically developed approach of continuously examining our procurement process, doing systematic improvement into that, re-evaluated it, and purchasing the activities, and aligning those activities with the organization of the goal that we said the 5R or 7 core value of it. This we have achieved with appropriate sourcing strategies. If you'll see, nowadays, if see what we have done, it may be seen as that, how we have optimized our procurement, project procurement, slicing into how much packages we have to create, or the slicing of the project has to be done, so that the right source can be found out with the right cost. It is very easy to give one EPC contract to somebody and ask him to build up his price even for the items or the services which can otherwise be available from the market, on which I can take the advantage of the market competitions directly if I procure it. So slicing of the packages or slicing of the project into to different procurement elements becomes important. We have done some sort of standardizing that. We are continuously, we have not only standardized our specifications, there is no surprise to the bidders all of a sudden from one procurement to the other procurement. Not only standardized, but we have harmonized our specifications, conditions, technical specifications for more of the repeated type of procurement in a way that we are able to really tap the right source from the market. And now, on which I am going to speak more on that, the transformational approach which my company has adopted during the last 8 to 10 years. I would have loved to speak about the vendor management, but we have done a lot in the vendor management. World Bank guidelines were also there, how to assess the vendors, how to make sure that the vendors are not only available to give me the economy in procurement, but they are being developed for me, and not only developed for me, rather they are interested and they are commercially prudent, commercially interested to participate in my procurements. So the transformational approach on which now for 8 to 10 minutes, which I'll like to take, is now we have moved totally to the e-procurement system. Public procurement, that to be the central public sector undertaking, we are the flag bearer in the Ministry of Power and take pride in declaring that we were the one who basically migrated 100% to the public procurement, to the e-procurement. I'll speak something about it. We, after the Government of India had mandate and giving a guidelines that the e-procurement, e-reverse auction should have been done, we have developed some unique template-based e-reverse auction. It is not like coal sectors or the gas sectors or even the solar power sector where one tariff or the tariff-based competitive bidding, which nowadays we are also participating, that one unit or one price is to be given. We are procuring projects. When we are in procuring projects, multiple parameters are there in procurement. There is a foreign supplier who is basically maybe importing the material from abroad. He will be sourcing some supply from within India also. So we call it at the imported supply, the domestic supplies, the services to be performed under different parameters. And with complex tax structures previously, before implementation of GST, it would have been hell of a job for any procurement man to evaluate the bid and find out a price which low one to L1 rank is to be declared. So we developed some unique template-based reverse auction method where ultimately the system developed one price, one unit to decide the rank after total evaluation is being used for deciding the winner of the procurement. Bulk commodity procurement, it has always been a challenge. You are opening a bid, first envelope bid, then the price bids, and then finding out who is the L1 and or the responsive bidder, whose price bids are open, then deciding the L1 price, and calling them for reverse auction and all those things. Now we are planning, we have done this bulk commodity procurement for Deen Dayal Upadhyay Yojana, where we were supposed to procure the transformers and the commodities conductors for the states. What we have done, single commodity procurement, lot-wise, for lakhs of transformers with single bucket fill approach, where we have empaneled the parties, previously assessed those parties, and their guarantee limits are fixed, their capacities are fixed. In agreement with the total transparent approach, every bidder knows what is his capacity, how many transformers he can supply in a particular period, how much conductor he can supply in a particular period, and he gives us the counter guarantees, and with value-based methods, he can simply on different lot quote his prices on the simple by one unit entering onto the digital platform, and the different lots means lakhs of transformers being allotted to different vendors at same times in particular lot. It is not only that, we are still examining our procurement processes, and a way ahead seems to be what we are planning. Usually we have now migrated to a single stage 2 envelope bidding process, where the price bids are open and then reverse auction is being pushed. But there has always been a challenge, and the bidders community says when the price has been declared, so reverse auction becomes slightly non-acceptable to them, because L1 prices and market prices are known to them. So what we are doing, we have developed some systems, we are testing it, that even after responsiveness has been given and the bidders has been shortlisted by the system itself, and reverse auction will be triggered automatically, and their bids which already there in the system will be generated when the L1 party is declared. So strategic change, we are planning that conducting e-reverse auction without initial price opening. Trigger was Government of India, I told you, mandatory adoption of e-procurement 2012. We started taking baby step in 2011, and we basically, this 2012 Government of India's notification was a trigger to it that we have to end-to-end procurement. So Power Grid finalized a roadmap. Our presence is pan-India, 238 substations, all controlled transmission line points are the procurement points for us. To have the symmetry, and moreover, to take all the bidders community, whether it is a bidder who is doing a small horticulture work at my substations, or the one who is quoting the big HVDC, EPC contract solutions bid at corporate centers, they will all have to be taken together. So we prepared a roadmap, trained the bidders, and started the e-procurement. This is an overview. We developed a hybrid type of system. I will not say it's an end-to-end procurement system. We still prepared the bidding document out of the system, but for symmetric information to everybody, now the moment bid document is being put, it is put onto the systems, all amendment, corrigendum, and all information related to the bid or the bid documents or particular package is being through digital mode only. No manual intervention into that. Bids are being submitted. We don't even see who is participating into the bidders. World Bank has also examined our systems and then asked certain changes. We gladly accepted that. Bidders not coming to Power Grid for even purchase of the bidding document. Secondly, bids have been submitted, but response is not known to anybody. When the bids are open, only then the response is known. The total transparency in submission of the bid and full confidentiality, who is participating and what is the market condition at particular time. Our evolution being a very tedious job, we are procuring solutions, not only solutions, we are rather flexible for the alternatives to be given by the bidders for technically. So there is a scope of compensations, cross compensations, offloading of the prices, and energy efficiency compensations, like performance of equipment for losses and all those things. All those things are evaluated outside, responsiveness is put into the system, and price-wise, bidders are being declared, rank-wise, what are their conditions, and those prices are agreed beforehand under template-based bidding and put again to the e-reverse auction, they participate. But it was a challenge. World Bank had also examined our both systems, that is the e-procurement as well as the e-reverse auctions. They have given certain suggestions on it, suggestions in the way that, in a way, you should be able to remove the manual intervention as far as possible. There should not be that we are able to do it. Okay. We already told you that e-procurement has been improving the system. All you know, though gone are the days when we used to open the bid in manual, paper bid bidding. Usually in many of the HVDC packages, I still remember the bids used to come in big suitcases, how to hold them. Then we moved to the technical part of this when we moved to single stage to envelope bidding. Big infrastructures were developed, locker rooms, at one time, we are opening the bids for techno-commercial, but parallelly securing the price bids for opening at a particular different date in big locker rooms. So it was a tedious job, but digital or the technology intervention has clearly reduced those hazards. Procurement timeline has also been reduced. It is a time when we are open the first stage bid, first envelope bid at 1 day, and in many occasions we are able to open the second or the price bid within a week's times. So it was really a reducing procurement timeline. Price discovery through e-reverse auction is really a game changer as far as the industry is concerned for procurement in Power Grid is there. E-reverse auction, following the experience of e-reverse auction in coal, telecom, and for better realization of value of money, Power Grid also started using online reverse auctions. We started in 2014, but May 2015 onward, e-reverse auction has been made mandatorily implemented in Power Grid. It was really a challenge implementing e-reverse auctions. Leave apart how we are able to convince World Bank.
Maybe should be winding up, Rajiv. If you could be winding up.
Sure, okay. I'll do that.
2 minutes, thank you.
So it was really a challenge. For me, the advantage is clear. For a buyer, the advantage is very clear. But suppliers were always not ready. They always had a reluctance. We have emerged L1, what is that? But Power Grid has an argument on this, that you can re-look into your prices. Market is open to it. It is not only that your cost, which will drive the market. Your competition is very important. How you can basically re-look your price and to become competitive. Unparalleled competitive intelligence is to be there. It gives the technology, intervention of technology has given level playing field. All bidders, irrespective of that, whether he is a small bidder or a big bidder, sitting in India or out of India or China or Europe, can participate in it, and it is very convenient. And when there is no manual intervention, and when there was a time when for reduction of prices, we used to do negotiation, one-to-one, face-to-face negotiation, it was always eyed with a suspicion. So what is that? It has technology handles the process now. Complete transparency is there. Market which is all open to it, and that has developed a trust between the buyers and sellers. But Power Grid, it was very difficult to evaluate the cost and benefit analysis. What we have done, we have moved our strategies from doing reverse auction in all the packages to reverse auction when the prices are higher than a particular percentage from my cost estimate. But there was a counter argument on that. The bidders can, when know that e-reverse auction has to be done, they'll build up their prices initially. So we developed strategically developed some methods where we say that outliers will be removed. N by 2 concept, if 10 bidders are participating, I'll only allow that the minimum 5% bidders. N by 2 concept was introduced. Then it is not only that. World Bank insisted, no, if the cost estimate is more, if your value of L1 price is less than the cost estimate, you should not do it. We have to harmonize it. What we have done now, our strategy has changed from reverse auction in every package to cost estimate limitations, benchmarking, to N by 2 concept. Now what we are doing, we have developed a concept that when there is a price, the L1 price or the prices of the bidders is within 5% of my cost estimate, all those bidders which are coming into the range of the 5% of the L1 bidders will only be permitted. If it is more than 5%, then N by 2 concept is there. So the whole purpose is to deliberate this point is we have evolved continuously by re-looking or re-evaluating our procurement process to achieve the efficiencies. 2 to 3% of efficiencies in my procurement of 30,000 crore in a year almost yields 700 crore rupees, which is a big amount. And I told you way ahead, it is not the end of the journey. We are looking forward to conduct e-reverse auction without opening of the price. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajiv. You can all agree, Rajiv is a very energetic speaker, the right person to start with after lunch. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. Just to summarize, I think some of the key aspects that he has shared with us. He comes from Power Grid, and he considers that Power Grid is one of the best institutions as far as procurement is concerned in India, but also in the world. But despite that feeling that they are the best, they are still striving to improve. So they are learning from what government directives are saying from other parties, World Bank, ADB, and the private sector. And they are trying to optimize the public procurement. He reckons one of the key aspects to their success is discipline. He said the balance between confidentiality and transparency, which he calls discipline. That is the key to their success. They are still learning, and they are now trying to go beyond L1. So they are trying to see if they can get some best and final offer after L1 is known. So that's the area where they would like to go. Thank you so much for that sharing and for enlightening us on what Power Grid is doing. Next, I'll call Sukhdeep, if you can share what C1 is doing.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I say, Mr. Rohila, and I'm happy to share the dish with well-known figures from the industry. Mr. Rana, nice to have you in the panel. At the outset, let me congratulate IMA and World Bank to put together this fantastic platform where you bring together a wide array of professionals, policymakers, buying organizations, academia, service providers, suppliers. I think it's a unique event in itself. And I'm happy to be partnering with IMA for this beautiful forum. Global Procurement Summit 2019. This is the way I have structured my presentation. I'll be just briefly talking about what C1 does, and then I'll move to a few case studies based upon empirical data, publicly available case studies, and a few facts and figures about C1 and otherwise. C1 India is one of the oldest organizations in the field of e-procurement today. In fact, we started it all. People familiar with the history of e-procurement will probably remember that we were the first company to be set up exclusively for e-procurement in the country. And since then, we've been doing that and nothing else. And I think that's something to boast about. We were the first company to roll out e-procurement for a statewide implementation. And that was not very recently. That was way back in 2001, 2002 actually, when we rolled out during the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. A quick talk about what we offer. We offer an end-to-end tender management solution. We offer e-auction services, forward, reverse, various flavors of it, Dutch, English, and others. We have also entered into the area of P2P, procure to pay. This would mostly interest people from the enterprise sector. And then we have a B2B marketplace, which is a two-way platform for suppliers and buyers. So we are into the thick of anything E to do with procurement. And happy to be part of this company and its journey. I'm happy to share a few of our customers, which includes ESL, one of the panelists is from ESL. Some of the top PSUs in the country have been provided services by us on as a service model. These are some of the larger projects which we have executed. Andhra way back in 2001, Gujarat since 2006, the Gujarat statewide e-procurement application has been supported by us. We did Delhi e-procurement, Delhi statewide for a few years, during 2008 to 2010. The Sultanate of Oman has been on our platform since 2010. So all the procurement that happens in the Sultanate of Oman happens on our platform. Proud to be talking about it. We are also working at implementation in Rajasthan and Goa, recent wins. Some other customers in the government sector, most of them are the larger PSU banks. Now this is where the story actually begins. Coming to the topic, which is turning aspirations into realities. Subsequent slides are not subjective, data or figures. They are mostly based on empirical data, and some of them are based on slightly dated case studies conducted by World Bank, and some done by the UN. Here, maybe I can ask IMA and maybe World Bank to maybe conduct more case studies on how e-procurement is benefiting, because these at that time were greenfield projects. And the benefits which I'm probably going to present might look very high. Maybe in recent times, the benefits may have leveled out slightly lower than that. I think I don't need to elaborate too much about this, the need for e-procurement. Now, when I say e-procurement, lots of people think about e-procurement in the government sector. Yes, government sector, of course, leverages e-procurement to a lot. And of course, one of the major benefits they want to extract out of it is transparency. From the bidder side, if I am on the bidder side, then I would like a level playing field and evaluation methodology. Of course, government mandates that there should be a complete trail of the evaluation process, the bid submission process. Because of the e-platform, participation increases that anyone from everywhere, any place can participate. Of course, this is one of the flagship MMPs under the NEGP, later on renamed as Digital India. Hence, the recent thrust towards e-procurement by the Government of India. Corporate sector, of course, I think that is moving IT systems to the next level. When you have implemented ERPs like SAP, Oracle, or whatever, the next level is to open it up to the external customer. And of course, every corporate organization would like to extend its supplier base so as to get the best benefits out of procurement. And of course, tangible gains towards cost and then integration with the core ERP. I think more in the corporate sector, I see BI and analytics being used for finding out trends. The history of e-procurement in the country. When you talk about history of e-procurement in the country, then it is difficult to keep C1 out of it, because that's what we started out. 2002, we partnered with GOAP, Government of Andhra Pradesh. 2006, it was announced as a NEGP MMP program under NEGP. Since 2006, we have been doing the e-tendering, partnered with Encode for Gujarat, state of Gujarat, statewide implementation. Now see, 2002, we launched our product. In 2007, JEPNIC was launched, JEPNIC or NIC, what is you're more familiar with. Only in 2011 was the framework for STQC guidelines was formed. So that's how we date back into time. During the 2014 period, 14-15 period, around 3.81 lakh tenders were conducted worth 2.1 lakh. But then I think yesterday and today some figures have come which have drastically changed. So recent figures are quite different. 16 government mandated that any procurement above 2 lakhs has to be on the E-mode. We signed contracts in the last 2 years with Rajasthan and Goa. Now this is where I come to the actual case study, Andhra. These are based on some case studies by the World Bank. The link is given there. So I'm quoting out of this case studies. Traditional tendering systems, of course, led to discrimination and delays, cartel formation, and apparently Andhra had this problem of mafia and maybe Maoists and other threats. So there was physical threat to the potential bidders. Tenders were at multiple locations. After submission, tenders would be tampered with. After submission, there are delays in finalization. And, at every stage, you have to interact with the human. Hence, that was the concept, that was the reason why the then Chief Minister, Shri Chandrababu Naidu, wanted to go into the e-procurement mode. The objective, of course, was demand aggregation, reduced inventory cost. Mr. Chirwa, I hope I'm keeping my time. Consistent procurement procedures. Now, this is important. One of the biggest benefits about e-procurement across multiple departments is not just rupee or dollar benefits. It is also the efficiencies and the standardization. The process standardization is something, one of the major takeaways. Sorry. Fair and equal opportunities to suppliers. Even I, as a bidder, would want to have a fair participation in most tenders. Efficient tendering process. Now, these are the tabulated benefits which Andhra government got out of it. Reduce the tender cycle from 120 to 180 days to 35 days. Now, that's a significant gain by any standards. Probably today, the year-on-year benefits may have leveled out, but that was, since this was a greenfield implementation, this was the benefits they get in the second year. Supplier participation increased from 3 to 4.5 per tender. Another significant tangible gain. Significant cost savings, various figures are available. Overall cost savings during a period of 2 years of the implementation exceeded 2,800 crores. These are not figures which I have pulled out of my head. No, they are figures according to a World Bank case study. Just on advertisements, more than 3 to 4 crores saving. Of course, empowerment of bidders, elimination of contract cartels, streamlining of processes. What is interesting to see is, I think some of the people can't see the display. Some of the accolades which the Andhra e-procurement project got included, the first one is Golden Icon Award for the best implemented e-gov project. They got the NASCOM Best IT User Award in 2006, UN Public Service Award in 2007, and so on and so forth. There are a few more awards in their kitty. So that was about Andhra. Let me elaborate on the Gujarat case study. Again, this is based upon empirical data of existing case studies. This one was conducted by the UN. These were the stated objectives of Gujarat going in for e-procurement in 2006 to establish transparency. These are, so I'll skip through this. Transparency, shortening of the procurement cycle, avail competitive price, enhance the confidence of bidders. And over a period of 2 years, this is what they got. Shortening of the purchase cycle was reduced from 30 to 6.6 days. Now that's a significant by any standards again. Number of man days saved per tender was 23.5. Saving of 48.6 crores against ACV for 300 sample data. Substantial savings on advertisement costs. Now, there are some qualitative benefits, of course, transparency, trust of suppliers, wider reach, equal opportunity for evaluation and things like that. This project also won the Computer Society of India Best e-Government Project in 2006-2007. C1 implemented this project in Gujarat in 2006. More than 220 departments are using our solution. More than 40,000 on an average tenders per year. Highly scalable. There have been occasions when more than 650 tenders are closing at 3 o'clock on a particular day. So you can imagine that it has gone through the test of stability and scalability. Then we have MIB, Ministry of Information Broadcasting, hired us for conducting the FM auctions. So the first batch of the third phase FM channel auctions was conducted in 2015. 135 channels across 69 cities were up for auction. The auction went on for 125 rounds of bidding across 32 days. Now the target for the department, MIB, had put a base price of 500 crores. At the end of the auctions, the total gain from them was 1156.9 crores. Again, a significant gain. 210% against the reserve price was the gain. Active participation from key players and new entrants in the field of media. Complete transparency. It established a benchmark in sales methodology of resources, natural resources for that matter. Oyo Rooms is another of our valued customers in the corporate space. We have deployed the P2P solution successfully. It has a complete vendor's lifecycle management, RFQ, be it limited or open, bid submission, catalogs across 20 categories, ERA, purchase order generation. They have reduced the procurement period by up to 2 weeks, and they got commercial benefits of around 30 to 35%. And from what I understand, they stopped a lot of leakages also. That was just about, I'm wrapping up the case studies or success stories which we have had. Some facts and figures about C1 before in my closing slides. We work across 27 and more industry verticals. 20,000 auctions conducted every month, 1 million plus e-tenders executed, more than 400 billion worth procurement has happened on a platform. C1 is your partner to go for, were you to conduct, plan for e-procurement and e-tendering. I'll close my slide with this small picture. You might be wondering what is this grainy picture of Sachin doing with Aristotle. Now, Sachin, this incidentally is a grainy picture because it was taken a long time back. This was his debut test. And this is what Aristotle said. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. This is our mool mantra. And we've been delivering excellence since 2001. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sukhdeepak. Thank you. I can see you dream, eat, and sleep e-procurement. And thanks so much for your insights and the qualitative and quantitative data. Before wasting much time, please.
Good afternoon to all. Thanks to the organizer for giving this opportunity to us to present ourselves over here. So this is the second time we are here. Last year also we have been fortunate to give this opportunity. So this time the topic is turning aspiration into reality, and we are very enthusiastic about this one because this is the topic which suits the ESL, because ESL, I just explained you about the organization, that how the ESL is turning the aspiration into the reality of a common man in this country. So energy efficiency services is under Government of India, Ministry of Power. We are running number of programs. Just to give you a background and just to give you an indication also that I have only 7-8 slides only, not much, and a 2 minutes film. So I will be wrapping in 10 minutes time. So there are 8-9 programs we are running. I will just touch upon the base of all these programs. The Ujala, which is popularly known as the LED bulb program, Street Light National Program, where more than 900 municipalities street light has been replaced with conventional street light with the LED street lights. Then there is a building program, building energy efficiency program, agriculture program, e-vehicles, smart meters, and Atal Jyoti Yojana, where we are providing the solar street lights to the remotest of the village in this country. About ESL, we are a very new organization. 7-8 years old only. This year we have got the Forbes Leadership Award also in the public sector. And last year we got the award for the best public procurement agency in India and for the Southeast Asia also. So these are some of the things. So how this ESL is turning the aspiration into the realities, how these programs of ESLs are making common man helpful, and the government also getting the dues from that one. I will go to the next slide before this one. You see, this is to give an example of the LED bulb procurement and how this procurement can help in any program or help a common man to relish what he feel that it is not a product for him or a thing or service not for him. Then effective procurement can help to achieve that thing. Take an example of the LED bulb program, which was around 5 years ago. It was considered as a product for a higher end society people, costing around 600 rupees, 700 rupees in the market. And common man can't think about that product. Generally, the common man go for a 10 rupees incandescent bulb or a 50 rupees CFL. We did the procurement, we have aggregated the demand. And by effective procurement and the way we have structured our program, in a transparent manner, the procurement has been done. And for over the period of time, in the last 4 years, now the LED bulb price has come down to 40 rupees. And how it has basically helped the common man. If you just see the illustration which is given, a common man which is using 3 to 4 incandescent bulb in his house, you will see that within 1 year, he is spending somewhere around 4,000 rupees on the electricity bill for that one. Now he start getting the LED bulb under the different government schemes, whether it is a subsidized or whether it is a upfront cost basis. You will see that he is incurring only 1/10 of the cost. So he's saving the 90% of the cost. This 90% of the cost which is saving for a common man, say around 3,300, 1,500 rupees. He can put in any of the things. He can spend more on the education of his children. He can spend on the better quality of food, clothes, anything. So these are the things I just want to highlight, that how this aspiration into the reality through a good procurement and a good structuring of the program can help an ordinary man. Now, I explained that slide, but this is an extension of that one, that how these schemes goes on. That is known as the PAYS, that pay as you save. It is not only about the LED bulb program, but for the other programs of us also, like effective, the energy efficient fan, or it's a efficient motor program, where a consumer, if invest, he can save the money on a monthly basis and he can pay on the installment basis also. Just to have a feel of this one, I just want to show a small video also for a 2 minute. And that is the voice.
Only 1/4 the
to avoid addition of 1 megawatt through, and therefore energy efficiency is the most effective tool to take our energy resources to the masses. The Ministry of Power, under its national mission for enhanced energy efficiency, is targeting to save 10% of current energy consumption by the year 2018-19. The programs under this mission have already resulted in an avoided generation capacity addition of about 10,000 megawatts between 2005 and 2012. Energy Efficiency Services Limited, under the Ministry of Power, is working towards achieving these savings through its flagship initiatives, like the Domestic Efficient Lighting Program and the Street Lighting National Program. Through Domestic Efficient Lighting Program, EESL aims to replace a whopping 717 million incandescent light bulbs with efficient LEDs over the next 3 years. With this, India will have an annual electricity savings of over 105 billion kilowatt hours and reducing about 85 million tons of CO2. The energy saved is equal to lighting up 1 million homes per annum. Carbon reduction is equal to planting 1.8 billion trees per annum. The Honourable Prime Minister of India inaugurated the DELP scheme across 100 cities in January 2015, and EESL has distributed over 30 million LED bulbs to domestic consumers. This massive scheme has impacted over 10 million consumers across the country and has led to savings of over 8,000 tons of CO2 emissions. EESL has an online dashboard which shows the real-time uptake of the LED bulbs across the country. Apart from domestic lighting, EESL is working towards replacing 35 million streetlights with LEDs under the Street Lighting National Program. By doing this, we will reduce CO2 emissions by another 6.2 million tons. The country can expect an annual energy savings of 9,000 million kilowatt hours and an expected reduction of installed streetlight load by 1,500 megawatts. EESL's initiative will lead to avoidance of new capacity of 21,500 megawatts, resulting in deferred investment of $13.5 billion in electricity generation. To achieve these savings, EESL plans to invest over $1 billion for the future of our country. To our streets, we are making our surroundings brighter. LED is the future of power. EESL is leading the way tonight by implementing LED-based home lighting and street lighting program in 100 cities across India. Our approach is anchored in the vision inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's famous exhortation. Earth has enough resources to meet people's needs, but will never have enough to satisfy people's greed.
Yeah. So these are some programs which has been showcased through this film, so a little bit old film. Now we are going ahead now with this program. I think it's not connected, it's not coming from this, not changing. Thank you. So moving ahead with the another program, this is an electric e-mobility program also. And the good thing about these programs, like our earlier program, we are providing the electric vehicles. And these electric vehicles will be in the first phase, will be provided to the government organization and the public sectors. There are around 5 lakh government vehicles in the public place. So the government mandate is that we should target these vehicles. So the hiring charges what government used to give to the private operator, it will be kept as the same level of services. So by deploying these vehicles, we are reducing the dependency on the imported fuels, and we are taking care about the environment also without any additional cost to any of the departments. Now, the solar, everybody is now into the solar, and solarization is going on. So we have also entered into this one as per the government directions. And these programs are a little bit different than the ordinary solar, the mega power solar projects which are going on. Here what we are doing we have tied up with the DISCOMs, and we have said the DISCOM that let you have this open space in your substations, so we can utilize this open space and we can put up a small solar power plant over there. And the power which will be generated through these solar power plants can be connected to the agriculture feeder. So the farmers who are getting the electricity during night time, they can have the access during the daytime. So it will affect the farmer lifestyles. They will start getting the electricity during daytime. And these tariff offered from these solar power is very attractive to the DISCOM. So the DISCOMs is also saving in a way. So it's a win-win situation, like in other program also, where the farmers gets daytime electricity, DISCOMs is saving on the procurement cost. There is a transmission losses which is being reduces. So this is the program. We are implementing other programs on behalf of MNRE also. Like Ajay is one of the program, that is a Atal Jyoti Yojana, where every honorable member of parliament is being provided a 2,000 solar lights for his constituency. And these lights can be put up into the remotest of the places in his constituencies, in the villages. So at least the village can be lit up, and during the night time, there is a sense of security, and there is not of a dependency on the regular grid connectivity. So at least solar life can lit up the villages, so it can have a good feel altogether. Another important and very crucial program is about the solar study lamp. These are around 70 lakh solar study lamps are being distributed in 5 states to start with. That is Odisha, Assam, Andhra Pradesh, not Andhra Pradesh, sorry, this Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Jharkhand, where the students are being given these solar study lamps at a cost of rupees only 100. The cost is much more, but that is being absorbed by the government, where a student can charge this lamp during the daytime, and they can have the light in the night time to do their school work. So it is impacting on a day-to-day basis the life of the people. So what are the basically reasons for the procurement agency has been, the ESL is seen as over the last 4 or 5 years. Naturally, we are also in the public domain, and all the CVC guidelines and other government regulations are also apply on us. We have taken the risk on our side for implementing all these programs, like from the vendor side, like the payment risk is there, or any implementation risk is there. The quick around time is also very crucial, that we have able to do our procurement in a very short span of a time, be it of any volume of procurement. And if you will see that most of our procurement for the programs are being first time, because e-mobility, there was no previous procurement. So it takes some time basically to do this kind of procurement. If you take the example of the LED street light, that was done for the first time, or the agriculture program, if you take, or the smart meter, if you consider. So every program which we start, that is one of its kind, and the procurement is also being first time for these kind of program. So aggregation of demand also helped basically to bring down the price, apart from the transparency. So as I promised, that only 6-7 slides are there from my side. Thanks a lot for your time.